Head to Knoxville, don't be late. Baker's Live, it's gonna be great. June 5th and 6th, mark your date at Dollywood, we'll celebrate. Meet Baker and more cool friends. Live show magic that never ends. Come to Dollywood, feel the vibe. With great people there, it's gonna be a ride. Rides, fun, and meet and greet. Baker and pals, the crew's so sweet. Get ready for laughs, cheers, and thrills. Knoxville's the place, it's giving chills. Meet Baker and more cool friends. Live show magic that never ends. Come to Dollywood, feel the vibe. With great people there, it's gonna be a ride. June 5th and 6th, don't miss the fun. Meet Baker and friends, it's second to none. Baker and friends, it's second to
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are. Jamie, whatever you are.
Morning.
And I bet that Jamie is tired because it's Friday. And there's just one thing Jamie wants to do when it's Friday.
What?
Gotta get down, it's Friday. It's Friday, 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 ooh, it's Friday, 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 yeah. Having Jamie here and saying, hey, fella, it's Rebecca Black time. I'm saying, Jamie, can we not listen to that music and listen to something else? It's Friday. And she just keeps it on repeat.
I feel like I should have played all of the ridiculous music I listened to for you when we were on our trip.
Well,
just blasting some Backstreet Boys and New Kids on the Block, you know.
Well, New Kids on the Block, I like that.
We would have had a blast.
Lolita asked, how did our meetup go? Turn in tomorrow for Stab Your Day, because we will probably talk about it tomorrow for Stab Your Day.
Yeah,
Returning on your favorite Stab Your Day channel.
I was doing something, I was getting ready for bed yesterday, and I I was gonna text you because I had like this sparkling ice water that I like, and I went to open it and it almost sprayed everywhere, and I instantly was just brought back to Iris and the train. And I laughed for like 20 minutes.
When Iris sprayed everyone in the train with her sparkling water. It's abnormal.
And I was just like, oh, this is going to be something I laugh about for the rest of my life.
I'd say that I needed a good laugh after this week, but the Proctor letter provided that for sure. Yeah, poor little Proctor. He's the victim, Jamie. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They have been harassed. Just because, as a first responder, you see so many bad stuff, you need to let out a little steam. And you know how I am in the green room, constantly yelling C-word at you. Because I need to let out some steam, Jamie. It's not because I feel any which way about you. I'm very not biased. So it's just to let out steam. Hey, Luna. and mess.
I
Brandon
guess.
Brandon muted himself for once. Normally he just mutes people in chat.
Yeah.
Hey Anime, Tsui, and JVH, and Annie Get Your Pew Pew, Helen from Holland, Chrissy, and Danny T, and Vinosaur, and Sarah Capo. Is that a new name, Jamie?
It looks new. Welcome.
Yeah. Better question for Baker as he live. It snowed this morning.
Did it?
Such weird weather. Yeah.
Gosh, it was like in the like high 50s, 60s when we were there.
Yeah.
And now it's snowing.
Truer words haven't been said, Brandon. If you're stuck inside, you don't have to hang out with stupid people. I had a guy who, on my Proctor video, just wrote, "You're an idiot." So I had to thank him for his amazing feedback.
Yeah, very insightful.
Yeah. Connie Marie, you didn't miss anything. So go make your coffee because, well, you can make your coffee in an hour when we have the first break. Plant fan. Yes, it's because they can't get a gag order, so they put him on the witness list instead. Combination of growing screen crack and the rogue sleeve. Stop using your phone for crack. I did get my haircut. I looked like a hippie.
Oh my goodness.
It was... Oof. It was close to cultural appropriation, Jamie. Karen Reed case is a mess and we only have Proctor to blame. Could have investigated properly. Yeah, I love that. He didn't do anything wrong. Well, even the prosecution now says that the videos were hidden by him. It's because you were just saying it never snows there. I don't know. I was sitting in here when I got up and pulled the drapes. Everything was fine. And then I was doing the video and hanging out with the expert a bit. Walked out. It was snowing. Nothing that stacked it, but still. I probably should listen to the opening so I know when Bakerwood 2.0 is. 4th, 5th, and 6th of June.
4th,
Marissa
5th,
hates
and
the song.
6th. Don't miss the fun. It's Baker and Friends. They're second to none or something like that. That's the only thing I remember.
But Marissa hates the song and she thinks I would change it. Baby Baker likes it. Guess who wins? I know Marissa would fight a baby, but still.
I feel like she would, she'd take on a baby.
Yeah, she'll punch a baby.
She might punch a baby or two.
Well, you got snow sometimes in Texas. In an hour, they'll be on their 5th break. Yesterday was stupid. 57 minutes, and then we went to lunch. Hey, Pan. Am I legally allowed to test the durability of the phone a little more? How many people are you gonna... I think he's just saying that with the phone so he can block people randomly. Brendan, I'm trying to get to 14,000. I'm close to it. So wait to block people till we hit 14,000. Thank you, and CFED FD Food Fairy. Another sponsored T-shirt. Jamie, can you confirm Baker is blonde and not a liver pate?
It's all fake, guys.
No, do you call it dirty blonde or what do you call it in English?
Yeah, like dirty blonde.
Yeah. And half bald, so.
You're not
80s.
half bald.
Yeah. It's only because you can't reach them. That's why Marissa is not...
Only because you can't reach them?
yeah, but Marissa shouldn't come to Denmark. You know, we put our babies outside in the tram. She would just go around saying, "Oh, practice."
Well, Marissa Baker gives 0 Fs about babies next to trees, so it's fine.
They were not babies. They were at least 3 years old before I slammed my back into them. Gretchen was allowed in court, but was on the Commonwealth's witness list in first trial. I still think that it's a way to keep Aiden out. I have to say that. Although I saw something, the next Apple phone is going to smog anyways. What am I doing here, Marissa? You seem to have immediate solutions to problems. I just won't ask questions. Marissa, should Brandon get himself a new phone or wait for the next Apple phone?
Wait. Actually, wait until the new one comes out and then get the other one, the one below it,
Yeah.
when it's cheaper. That's what I like to do.
What is this?
What? Well, that's not correct proof. Put in. Oh, jeez.
It's Friday in chat as well.
Mm-hmm.
Danny G. Hey, Denise Christine. Did you see Trooper Paul is on the list again, that poor man? Yes, and they even have a crash expert this time, but they're still going to drag him through the motions. It has minor damage. There is some kind of titanium ring around it. Should I just fall on a hammer? Oh, I should just fall on a hammer. No. Can't you just get your screen swapped? I didn't read the ones before. Marissa, I read what I see. And Danny T is having a nice day.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Well, I'm too bad. No, it doesn't work. Yesterday, he blocked a person. Every time a person put something in chat, he just removed it. Well, today it's a little more Friday. And Plant fans should just go back to bed. Hey, KDP. And Jamie Dave asked, do you want a rooster or two?
He had a little live stream of his chicks, and I seen them. And they're so cute. But no, Dave, roosters can kick rocks. They're mean. My parents have some. They attack.
Wasn't even using the phone to blame Apple. Well, Brett just noticed that I had a spelling mistake in my outro. So I said, I've been using it for a year, Brett, so I blame you. Or Jamie. Well, I blame Jamie. Hey, Victoria K.
You had a spelling mistake?
Yeah, I spelled built wrong with a T instead of a D or with a D instead of a T. I'm dyslexic, Jamie. This is my third language. Cut me some slack.
Listen.
Good morning, Stephen. Yeah, I saw Valhalla was streaming this morning just as I was about to record a video, so I didn't get to see the baby goat. She can't go to Denmark. There's too much snow. I don't listen to you, Jemima. Yeah, you should come and join us. Maybe you can sneak me some beers in Tennessee when they won't serve me. Jamie, I need to get an international driver's license. Remind me.
Go get your international driver's license. Don't forget.
I don't car that much, Marissa. I love when Marissa has spelling mistakes because she always gets angry at my spelling mistakes.
Well, how hard is it to get one? Is it just like getting your driver's license? You just got to go and pay for it and get a picture?
I never had one before, so I
Or is it
think
like
it's
getting
just go. We have some at the city where you can go and talk, but you have to order. And I was some cities you can order it online. Here you have to go down there, talk to them, and I bet you get that Karen who's just, I don't know how to make it. Well, I don't care. I need an international driver's license. Can you come back Monday? No, I'm here now. Just get the form out. Make it. Well, you need a passport photo. I have a passport photo. It costs $20. Give me the effing driver's license. Well, it takes 6 months to deliver.
I love that you're having a full-on argument about something that you you don't even know yet. Oh my gosh.
Good morning, Tash. Tash is having a better day. Never heard of an international driver's license. It's just a driver's license in English because we have Danish words. My last name is spelled with one of the special letters, so they won't. Some places won't recognize. I never used it, and I have rented cars in the U.S. before, but it's just to be on the safe side because I was told in Georgia you do need it, and I'm gonna have a car that I want to have an ID so I don't have to carry my passport around when I go out to have a beer.
Mhm. And yes, Stephen, I am aware nobody probably has a driver's license in Denmark because they just ride those stupid bikes around everywhere.
There was plenty of cars, Jamie.
Not really. Not very many.
No, because we were on the walking streets.
Where do you got to go where there's a bunch of cars? I want to go to that area.
We can go play on the highway, see if you can cross it faster than the cars can hit you. Jeepers. I'm not your dad. I'm not. Jamie, go play on the highway. It's not like when you were a kid. But Dad, there's cars there. See if you can get to the other side. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Skybell, for donating a membership to Be a Snowman. That's a cool name.
No, I didn't get hit by any bikes, but I heard their little ching chings.
Don't put pins in your phone, Brandon. It's electrical. No, she didn't get hit by any car. She just walked out of the train station and said, "Oh, look at all these cute bikes." Took 2 steps and said, "I hate them."
There are so many.
Well, Jamie actually went to Sweden twice. So
Yeah.
she was there long enough.
Yeah, we went to Sweden on purpose and not on purpose.
Yeah. I don't get all of this. Oh, you can get the speedy entry exit. I never ever. I'm always getting stopped at airports. I don't know why.
Mhm.
The pin has plastic at the end. Relax. Don't put pins in your phone. I feel like Brandon sometimes is like talking to my daughter. Well, when my daughter was 5.
You would imagine if it was Irish, Jamie, and Brandon. Could you imagine?
Yeah,
You already wanted to throw me and Iris off the bridge.
my pet rock collection would have been really clean that day. Went to Sweden and didn't even visit Nick. Well, they were in Malmö and they had a guide who couldn't even find her own way around her own city. So probably
Well,
not a good idea to go to the
Yeah,
boondocks.
the bus dropped us off at a different place and we had to walk for like 45 minutes. And yes, the cars are very small. everywhere you go.
Yeah, what you would call a mid-size SUV is a big car in Denmark. I was looking at rentals for Tennessee, and that's kind of high-end SUVs. That's just the normal, like a Mazda CX-50, no 30, I think it was. That's a pretty okay car here.
I averaged like over 28,000 every day that we were there, Danny.
Yeah, I think the day we were out walking, I hit 24,000.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if there was a legit hole. I hit this entire chat unless morale improves.
All right, my understanding is the jury's being lined up. And are we all ready to go?
Yes. We're ready.
Very good. And let's bring the jury out and we will continue.
Brandon, I'll say the same thing your wife say. Just because there's a hole, you don't have to stuff things into it.
Now my step counter says like one step. Now that I'm home.
Since you came home.
I kind of miss it a little bit, to be honest with you.
Well, there's a plane leaving fast soon, so you can just go.
Ugh, I just don't want to do that again.
I wasn't in Sweden long enough to get a Prips. Did you have any beer when you were in Sweden, Jamie?
We didn't get it. We were gonna go get something to eat, but we were walking for so long that we literally had to walk back to the train or bus and go home.
Yeah, don't go to the neighbor's Paula B. Yeah, it sounded like Chewbacca was in the court. I just think it's the lead investigator. Even in Arizona, you need a test with an international driver's license. I don't need anything. I have a driver's license. It's fine. I'll just get an English copy, and I even think it's in paper form, not in plastic. So that's gonna be fun spilling beer on that one.
Nice, you're entering.
And you can just walk up down the driveway.
Yeah. Well, I've always liked walking. It's just I get bored walking on like a treadmill, let's say, or something. I liked walking outside and seeing things. That's what I like to do.
Yeah, that's why you put in an audiobook. Who is peeing in the courtroom?
Thank you all. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here, for being on time this morning. I trust you all had a nice, relaxing evening. So before we begin, I do want to say some words to you. I know I've given you instructions multiple times on this case about the importance of staying away from media coverage about this case, and I trust you've all been doing that. But I have been told by folks that there's been a lot of discussion or chatter about this case on various websites. There are like those community pages and those town Facebook pages. So I don't think there's any issue with it, but I am just warning you, as you're on the internet or as you're going around to various places on the internet, just be mindful that on any of those sort of community website pages in this area, there could be posts or chatter about this case because it has drawn some attention. And I want to be sure that
Zach could see all the prayers. There was a documentary that showed him in a bad light with a lot of lies. It was on CV. CV, I don't know what channel that is, but most of these documentaries are just, yeah. I think a lot of people have seen that. You're thinking, oh, they're going to be honest, they're going to be open about what happened in the case, and no, it's just going to be the same old story. He did it. But I'm glad that he can feel the love from outside. Is there any news on his appeal? I don't think I've heard anything.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
a fair trial in this case, and that we don't do anything which would jeopardize the fairness of the trial or the integrity of this process. Okay, so with that, we will continue with the cross-examination of this witness. Counsel, you may proceed.
Point Detective.
Good morning.
And I want to probably backtrack, go over a few things with you, and then we're going to go through some video too, okay?
Yes, sir.
Before I start, I want to make sure that, if I can, Your Honor, I want to introduce you to my assistant. That's Anara.
His sister?
They make believe I'm the boss of the office, but I'm not the boss of the office.
He said us.
And she's going to handle some of the video stuff as we go through.
Okay.
But let me get back to where we are.
This case is about a guy who was out snow plowing and been out snow plowing for most of a day, maybe even a full day, picks up his daughter on his way home from his job. When he comes home, that's where it gets a little murky. He's cleaning his own driveway or something. And the neighbor gets mad because they claim he dropped the snow in front of his driveway. We know that didn't happen. So the neighbor walks over, and that's where the story changes once again, because the snowplow driver says he starts yelling, he starts saying that he's going to unalive me, my family, my dog. So I had to protect myself. Pews him once in the face and 5 times in the back. Typical defensive wounds. The state believes that kind of the same. There's an argument, and then he just gets mad and pews him 6 times. They claim self-defense because he was aggressive, and the state claims he was just an idiot who started pewing. So actually, it's the same claim they have, just by the opposite person. Someone went a bit too far. Thank you, KDP. I hope you guys had a great time. Jamie had a wonderful time. I was herding cats.
Hey,
Sax need a hug. Too bad Nick is not around.
can I ask? I don't know if I missed this or not. Was he just plowing to plow, or did he do this as a job?
I think he did it as a job.
Okay.
He's been out for 24 hours plowing.
Okay.
I don't know many. Well, I know you could probably. I don't know. Stupid joke. Insert stupid joke here. No, I think he was working as a snowplower, and then on his way home from his snowplowing route, he picked up his daughter, who we will probably hear from, at least from when the defense goes on. So I still think it's going to be a problem claiming self-defense, especially when we saw that other self-defense case in New Hampshire. But this is a detective. I can't see the witness is the victim is the only one we haven't heard from. Thank you, Dave, for 5 gifted memberships to Natalie Piarini, Cole Harden, Hyacinth, hey Joe, and Melissa Smock. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
And remember, membership benefits. Jamie will yell at you at some undisclosed location.
I mean, if that's what you want.
Well, it's not like I do membership streams or anything, so we'll just do a Discord chat where Jamie yells at people for half an hour.
Sounds good.
Well, that's just a Discord chat because that's every Discord chat.
Yeah,
Say
I just
hello
want
to
to
your
hear from
lovely
the
wife.
victim and the defendant, and I think it's all we need. Come on. Yes.
Yeah. And again, I have a hard time believing that they absolutely had no contact before this. But that's what they say.
So it wasn't just between the girlfriend and the guy. It was even the neighbor and him or the victim and him haven't even spoken?
No one had spoken to each other.
Okay.
Only
Because I
the
know
grandma.
she testified to it, so I didn't know if actually he
No,
never
they
spoke
said
to
he
it.
only talked to the grandma. That's how I understood her.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
Yes, the victim is permanently damaged. He has 11 fragments. I think he's 11 fragments. Well, he has fragments still lodged in his body, and he is 1 stone lighter. And we're not talking about weight in England.
And you went through fairly thoroughly your evening on April 4th of last year, and how you were contacted and what you did, and that's quite helpful. About what time did you say you got to the scene?
I'd really have to look at my reports. Maybe 11:30, 11. I'd have to look at the
Right.
call log there.
Right, but by the time you had gotten there, Kyle had been taken off the scene.
That's correct.
Right, and processing was your big number one thing, right?
On the scene, correct.
Right. And you talked to the jury about the placards and the shell casings and so forth.
I did.
And that's all, the shell casings were all in pretty much the same area, right?
Yeah, around the same area in the roadway there.
Right. And the mark where Kyle was found and where he was treated was in the same area as the shell casing.
From probably about me to you.
And that particular spot is easy to find because you'll see blood. I mean, you'll see red in the snow, right?
There was like a higher concentration of blood there, and we saw it in the video as well.
Right. And that particular concentration of blood was right in front of 41 Summer Street, right?
That's correct.
And 41 Summer Street is the residence of Jason, right?
That's correct.
And in fact, it was right in front of his front steps, right?
Yeah, there's a front porch step area there, and a side entrance as well in the driveway.
Right.
So it was on the front there.
So as we're looking at video, but basically, the shooting takes place like right in front of his house.
In the roadway in front of his house, at 41.
Okay. And his particular motor vehicle, the truck, was parked like in front of his driveway.
When I responded for the crime scene, or during?
No. During the videos, I was trying to go through.
During the videos, it's in the roadway of Summer Street.
Right. When you got there, the vehicle was
And
in
you
the...
can get silicone
Right.
implants.
Yes, it was.
And you were processing.
And you can
Now,
actually,
let's go through this.
if you have the same problem as Zach, you can actually have a small pump put into one of them so you can whenever you need to perform. Fun fact.
You showed the jury... Let me just approach for a second.
Jamie, did you catch that? That was a way saying Zach has erectile
Well, the
dysfunction.
mark is stated
Yeah.
as a firearm.
Correct.
And this is a firearm that would have been retrieved from Jason's truck.
Yes, it was in the driver's seat of the truck.
No,
Talk to you about that for a second.
like air just has air in the soul.
Your understanding and the means in which you actually procured the firearm is that Jason gave police permission to go into his truck and retrieve it, right?
Yes.
And when they retrieved it, they noticed that it was lying right where Jason told him it would be.
Yes.
And that he had made sure and told them that what he did with the firearm was to remove the magazine, separate it from the firearm, and leave it there for them, right?
I'm not sure what he told other detectives there. I was told that it was going to be in the driver's seat.
Right.
And that's how I found it.
Yeah, you saw it separated from the magazine.
Correct.
All right. Nobody from Rochester PD separated the magazine from the firearm.
Not from my understanding, no one touched the firearm.
All right. So I guess we can infer that if nobody else did it, Jason would have been the guy that did it.
That would be, yeah, correct.
And he would have done it prior to the police getting there.
Yes.
And your understanding is that when he was asked for permission to search the truck, he readily gave permission to the Rochester PD.
Yes.
There was a form that he actually signed, I believe.
Yes, I believe he had signed a permission to search form through Detective Garson.
Right, and just briefly for the jury, the permission to search form kind of lays out his rights where he doesn't have to give permission to the police, right?
That's correct. It's a form that basically explains what we would like to search and the fact that you have a constitutional right to say, no, we don't want this to be searched. And that way we have to look at other means if you have to go through a search warrant, other options.
Right, but you didn't have to go through other options because, quite frankly, Jason made it easy.
He signed the consent to search, which granted us the right to search.
But also during the processing, it came to your understanding that Jason communicated that he actually had video cameras, right?
Correct.
And again, that coming from him to you was something that he volunteered, right?
Yes.
And he volunteered it, and not only did he volunteer that he had video surveillance, he actually said, again, you don't have to get a search warrant. I'm allowing you to go and take whatever I have.
Yeah, he signed the consent form for the Night Owl DVR systems.
Right. And those are, in fact, one of those systems shows that good shot of his driveway straight down to Summer Street, right?
It does show the driveway there.
And that's from his system that he voluntarily said you can have.
Yes.
And then your understanding is that he agreed to go to the police station?
I was told that he had surrendered and was detained and brought back to the police station, and I had responded to the station for the initial evidence crime scene.
Right. When the Rochester police got to the scene, he didn't give him any problems. He said...
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Right.
Watching video, I don't see that either.
And he just readily went with the Rochester PD to be questioned at the Rochester Police Department.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that's where we are for that evening. Also, there's an indication that once he parked the truck, and prior to the police getting there, there's no indication in the snow that he tried to back the truck up or evade anybody, right?
I didn't see that, no.
Basically, he stayed there and waited for the police to come.
Yes.
You also found in the truck a loaded magazine with 9mm ammunition in it, right?
I did.
And that would have been during the course of you going through the truck, the very truck that he gave you permission to search and go through anything you wanted.
Yes.
He gave you permission to go into his home and search and look for anything you wanted. Right.
To obtain the DVR systems for the recording, we were given permission to do that.
Did you ask him for anything else? I mean, did he deny anything? Did he say he didn't?
I never spoke to Mr. Levesque at all.
Any information that he didn't want you in the house?
This is from me on scene, processing the scene, saying, hey, we have this truck, what's the deal with this? And speaking to Detective Garston, who was speaking directly with Mr. Levesque. So I'm not sure, other than the fact that we were granted permission to obtain the 2 DVR systems, as well as go into the truck to search.
Okay. Now, you showed, we were viewing videos yesterday, and some of them are tough to watch, not only because of the content, but because of the distance. It looks like small people. It's tough to see actual, humans even interacting. Would you agree?
I wouldn't really agree with that. I can see 2 people in face to face. I can't see a conversation, but I can see the movements of the bodies.
You can see some movement. But that first one, that Exhibit 2 from the state that was shown, the first series on that, is from a distant camera from 43 Summer Street, correct?
We didn't play 43 video surveillance yesterday, so I'm not sure.
Well, actually, we did.
The 43, the audio?
Yeah, it had audio on it.
Okay. I'm trying to recall.
I think you actually went through, well, maybe we did, but I mean, you actually went through it, right, 43?
I did in the course of my investigation. I don't recall that specific camera angle being shown yesterday.
It's okay, we're going to get to that. 43, you went through line by line, second by second. You tried to break it down, right?
Yes, sir.
But that 43 video is a distant video.
That one is the furthest video away in the scheme of, distance to where the location was, correct?
Right. It's actually, you'd agree with me, tough to see the 2 individuals interacting closely.
For that one, yes.
But it did have audio on it that you broke down, right?
Yes, sir.
And you broke it down specifically. It was recorded at 10:11:22 p.m., which would mean 11 minutes after 10, right?
Yes.
And 22 seconds.
Yes.
And it was at that point in time that you heard and recorded, yep, there he goes. I don't know, he's all the way out there. You better not do anything stupid.
Objection, Your Honor.
Detective. At 10:11:22. Okay. Here again.
I'm not going to test it. I'm going to have a medical emergency.
What's happening in this courtroom?
I have no idea.
At 10:11:22, in your analysis, you've got Angela LaChance saying, yep, there he goes. I don't know, he's all the way out there. You better not do anything stupid, right?
Yes.
And that's part of your breakdown on that video for 43.
From 43, yep.
So on that breakdown from 43, you're also watching an individual that you would have identified as Kyle in your report.
Yes, Kyle Violette.
And in that particular video, just 8 seconds after that exclamation, or
We don't know if it's the city's plow, but I believe he worked with plowing because he had been plowing for 24 hours and his driveway is not that big. Even Jamie could plow her driveway in 24 hours.
that statement, you note in your report that Kyle is
Might
up
take that
close
long.
to Jason Levesque, who is outside his truck.
That's because you sit inside, you look at it, you call your dad and says, Dad, you know that snowblower I bought last year? It doesn't work. And he says, did you charge it? What do you mean? Did you charge it? I don't know. And then you sit and you wait for your dad to come over and he has to walk through all the snowbanks. And he said, this is an electrical outlet, Jamie. This is a plug. Now you have to wait. And then you sit for another 6 hours till it's fully loaded. And then you say, but Dad, it didn't remove the snow. No, you have to go outside and blow. And then you call your dad. He has to come back, walk through the snow and blow all the snow away. And then you say, oh, now it's working again.
You would hate the way I actually like mash down the snow in my driveway. I literally just get my truck out and I put it in 4-wheel drive and I just run over it until it's mashed down.
And then you can't understand why it gets slippery when you...
I do.
And then at 10:11:37, you note that Kyle begins walking away from Jason back
It's
towards.
not a real snowblower. She just have a leaf blower, but she uses it for
It's
the
it's a shovel with a little thingy on it. I can't find the charger for it, to be honest with you.
Of course not.
House, right? Neil?
If that's what it says in the bullets, yes.
Yeah. Because you're keeping second by second trackers.
Yeah, I was using like a VLC player with a frame by frame, so you can click multiple frames in 1 second span, just because the movements were very quick.
Yep. And then at 10:11:37, you've got it noted that Kyle begins walking away from Jason back towards his house, right?
Yes.
But at 10:11:41, you hear Angela say, he better not do anything fucking dumb, end quote, right?
I do.
And 4 seconds later, Kyle turns around and begins walking back toward Jason.
Yes.
So he doesn't continue on his way to his house, right?
Not at that time, if I note that he's walking towards Jason.
And right after the statement from Angela, you see on the video Kyle turning around and walking back toward Jason. Right?
Yes.
Nothing would have obstructed him from going right home, right?
Correct.
There was no firearm displayed at that point in time, was there?
No.
And again, we don't have audio, so you don't know what was coming out of his mouth, right?
From my understanding, so that audio camera was the only one that had audio. You're not able to hear any conversations. If they were screaming at each other, I would assume that we could hear that because we can hear Kylan screaming outside. We can hear the conversations inside from Angela to her daughter, and we can hear them yelling outside, but the audio doesn't pick up what is being said between Mr. Levesque and Mrs. Violette. That's
Right,
correct.
right. I mean, you don't know what.
More slippery after moist, not when moist. It's because when it snow sets again, that's when it gets slippery. But this was interesting. So apparently he did walk away and then returned before he got pew-pewed. That could change stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember that. So
Well, they didn't mention it yesterday, so you shouldn't be able to remember that.
Kyle is saying.
well, you
to
would think they
Jason.
would
No,
have
no, no.
said
You
about
don't
it.
know what he
in
was
the
saying when he was
opening.
up close to him, right?
Correct.
You don't know what he was saying when he turned around and was pointing at things, right?
I do not.
And you don't know what he was saying when he, instead of going home, turned around and started back toward Jason, right?
That's correct.
And again, that's before any firearms displayed. Correct?
Yes.
Now, the shooting takes place just a second or two after that, from your breakdown.
Yes.
So it happens very quickly after Kyle turns around from walking away and then goes toward Jason.
The first shot.
Okay. Agreed?
I'd agree.
And that's from that angle. Did you do any other video work? Did you slow it down? Did you blow it up? Did you do anything with that?
So on all videos, I would either use the frame by frame, and then on VLC Player has an interactive zoom, which is just a zoom feature where I can take a box and drag it towards a certain area, and zoom doesn't distort anything, but it makes it bigger, so I can see. So I did do that to see, try to capture more of the movements or anything.
Well, we're going to show you a few videos in just a second. They're defendants with A, B, and C. A, B, and C.
Okay.
And a lot of what you just described, like blow up and slow down, and definition,
Yep.
is going to be broken down in levels. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And I'll ask you when we show them, with the court's permission, if you can step down to the well, because I'll have some questions for you, as we go through.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Fair enough. We can set up, Judge. Thank you.
We couldn't see anything, so we're just guessing. He walked away, then walked back. He didn't go inside when he could retrieve a pew-pew. Doesn't change anything for me. No, that's... I still think the pew-pews in the back is my biggest problem. Stop it now.
I'm still waiting to hear from both of the people, so.
Yeah, I need the victim and I need the defendant. See if we can see anything today. Get that stupid clock away from there.
Not to speak for Chris.
I think at this point it does make sense. We're getting,
Are we going to take a break?
I think at this point it does make sense. We're getting, we could use a little break anyway. We're gonna take a 5-minute little recess, give you all a chance to stretch your legs. We'll get our technology straightened out and all good. All right. Let's see if we can make this work.
Well, we have been going for 38 minutes, so of course it's time to do a break.
Just stop it right there. There we go.
Oh, sorry. Did he come? Did he end the break fast?
Okay. Why don't you just stop it right there? There we go. It's kind of self-explanatory. We've got
But the judge isn't on. No, he's down looking. Sorry.
a box around an individual there, and that would be Kyle Violette, right?
Yes.
Okay. This is the video from 43 Summer Street, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we continue? And why don't we stop right here? All right, now, at that point in time, do you see Jason at all in the frame?
He's partially obstructed by the door.
Right, he's actually bending down, right?
Yes.
Right, so he's bending down. Is there any indication from that frame that Jason even is aware that Kyle Violette's approaching him?
Not that I can see.
Why don't we continue? Okay, why don't we hold right there? Now, this is the initial contact or the initial approach by Violette to
This could
Jason,
just be a
right?
colon inspection. I can't see
You
it.
have to watch, you're combining different clips. This is a 41 Summer Street, so
Yep.
I couldn't honestly tell you, yes it is, because I know that he goes back and forth multiple times.
Okay.
So with you combining them, I'm not sure.
No, that's fair. And what we're going to do is we'll continue with this so you can identify if you believe it's the first contact. Okay? All right, let's go. Right there, hold it. Now, do you recall that being the first contact?
I do.
Okay. And what do you see? Just, I mean, we have to have a record of this. What do you see?
Sure,
It must be the angle because they can see it clear enough that they could put squares on the screen saying who was what where. And apparently right underneath the digital clock is where it's happening. So pay attention to this area to see if you can see anything other than the last tuna melt the lawyer had before his last colon inspection.
Recall being the first contact as it's face-to-face with him.
It's face-to-face, and that's, we blew that up a bit so that the jury can see it a little bit clearer. Is that clearer than what they've seen before?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So that's the first contact, or first, I'll just say, initial contact between Violette and Jason, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, why don't we continue? He's pointing, stop. Did he have another contact there right before he's turning around?
He seems to be continuing to talk to him.
Did you see Jason talking to anybody?
I can't see anyone but moving.
Well, why don't we go back? We back up.
The victim walked back. The victim initiated, left, didn't leave, but moved away and walked back in his face.
A little bit. Started. Okay.
Now we can see him moving across the street. I haven't seen that before. Let's go back and see that one more time. Because you can see him down here and then under the window sprocket. Is that what you call those? And then he walks over to this area. But this is the clearest video we have had so far.
Okay.
Thank you. See, Jamie?
Okay, stop. And that's the first
What?
contact?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Now we can see
Oh
it
my-
because they're switching
Oh my
to the
God!
video.
Why wouldn't they do that in the first place?
Yeah.
What the heck, guys?
Let's have all of that because the camera guy figured it out. Again,
Oh my God.
if anything bad happened, well, we won't be able to see the red stuff on that distance, but
Yeah.
if it gets too graphic, I will take it down. Everyone, if you are squeamish and don't love Leprechaun in the Hood, be aware, could be potential bad stuff coming up.
Okay, stop. And that's the first contact?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's start it again. Now stop. That's the second, right?
Yes, sir.
Start it again. Now there's the third, right?
If you're talking about contact with him...
Back
kind
to
of
the
looking
other
like
screen.
re-engaging, yes.
Yes, he's re-engaging. That's right.
Left is the defendant, right is the victim.
And Jason is making absolutely no indications whatsoever of wanting to engage with him. He didn't follow him, right?
He's not following.
Right. He's just standing in the same spot. Right.
He is.
And now we got Kyle walking away for a bit, right? Stop.
He walked over here. This is the car. Stupid. Come on. This is the car. And now he walked all the way over here.
Now he's looking back. He looked back. He started pointing, right?
Yes.
It appears as though he's saying something, isn't it?
It looks like he's saying something.
Does it look like Jason's saying anything?
Doesn't look like it.
Why don't we continue? He's still pointing, right?
There he is.
Yeah, now he's turning back. And when he turns back, that's when the firearm is raised and he's shot. He discharged. Correct?
So this is a combo of different screens.
It is. You can stop right there.
So in my opinion, when I'm looking at that, this makes it look very quick, as if he shoots the one shot and then instantly shoots the 5 others. When I'm looking at the other DVRs, the DLC, frame by frame, I see that he walks 5 steps forward while Kyle Violette is on his back, trying to crawl away.
No, we've got that too.
Okay.
All right.
I still
So
think,
that's,
I don't know if you saw it, but I think the problem will be that he walked up and pew-pewed him while he was on the ground crawling away. That's a problem in my opinion.
No, I'm just trying to get the number of times that Kyle engaged with Jason so that the jury can see what we're talking about.
okay.
And I think we're up to 4 or 5 when he
You could be
turns.
correct. Yeah.
Okay, so if we can continue. All right, is there slow motion edit? This may be a little clearer as to the context. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as he's walking back, that's when the firearm comes out, correct?
Yes.
So the firearm doesn't action, and that action is Kyle walking back toward Jason, right?
It looks like he's walking back towards him when the firearm starts to come out.
Correct. Okay. Why don't we go on to Exhibit B?
So the record's clear, Exhibit B is also...
Yeah, this is what it comes down to. Was it pew, 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 or was it pew? Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah, because I thought they said that he walked up on him and like did it like execution style or whatever, which I think could be a problem.
Yeah, and he was walking away and pointing, and then yeah, the first shot is possibly legal. I don't think the jury will buy the rest were legal self-defense. No, he's down and crawling. This is sort of similar to the Kemp case. Do I know the Kemp case?
Yeah.
I would be scared if someone got in my face like that. Yeah, that's why I'm saying
Yeah.
my problems are the ones going into him when he's down. And again, it's not like the guy we saw at the bar because he just kept pulling. This looks like he pulls, he goes down, he walks up, he pulls again. And that's a big difference in my book.
Correct? Thank you.
Okay, let's play. And why don't we stop a second? And what are we seeing right here?
This looks like Kyle Violette approaching Jason's car.
Okay.
No, that was the jaw shot.
And if we continue. And stop. Now that's a pretty clear depiction of the initial contact, right?
Of the two bodies, yes.
Yes. And as we saw, the only person approaching another person is Kyle approaching Jason, right?
Yes.
It appears there's 2. Great. Now, can we stop? In none of that sequence, do you see Jason making any movement toward Kyle, correct?
Right.
Right ahead. Stop. It looks like Kyle's motioning and saying things to Jason, right?
It does.
And that Jason's doing nothing but standing.
Correct.
Continue. Stop. Now, in all fairness, I know it's a combination of things, but does that appear as though it's a continuation of his walk that just broke off?
And you had a good camera angle from the front of 41 Summer Street that would have shown this as well.
All right, but I'm just saying, does that not look like a continuation of the walk away and then the turning around?
And the two different time cuts, yes, it looks like a continuation. It's hard to tell with the edits.
All right.
If there's anything else missing.
All right. And we can continue. Now he's going back, right? Stop.
He is.
And it's at that point in time that the firearm is drawn.
Once again, this is two different video surveillance systems. And I do not see Mr. Violette moving at all in there at that point.
You may see him in a second. Why don't we keep playing? There, that's the stop.
That's in there at that point, yes.
Yeah, and he was facing Jason, right?
He's facing him there after Jason's taking a step forward with the firearm.
Right, and he's still facing him, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. Continue. And that's when the shot's fired, the first one.
That's the first shot.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Can we go on to defendant C? Okay, why don't we stop right here? Now, this is the shot, the camera from the garage area at 41.
Correct.
And this is the video surveillance system of they can analyze it, do whatever you want with, right?
Yeah, one of the two.
Okay. Why don't we continue with that? Why don't we stop? Can we back it up just
Back
a
to
second?
not seeing anything again.
Okay, right there. Well, right there. You don't see Jason's head at all in that frame, do you? Okay. And it's consistent with him bending down, working on his truck or doing some adjustment to the motor vehicle.
It is.
You don't see him reacting to Kyle coming toward him, right?
I do not.
As if he didn't know he was there. Right?
And with the truck parked, I'm not sure. It could have been bent over facing, could have been bent over, so I don't know. I'm just giving my opinion on
No, that's cool. All right, why don't we get going on that? Right there. Okay, now he recognizes that Kyle's there, right?
It looks like he is facing me.
He's facing him and he's standing still, correct?
The video is frozen right now.
Right. Still, right?
Yeah, he's not moving.
The only guy moving is Kyle, right?
That's correct.
The only guy making approaches is Kyle, right?
Yes.
The only guy making hand gestures is Kyle, right?
Yes.
And he comes back, right? Thank you. You can resume your seat if you could.
Thanks.
You can reset the video, or put away the video?
Yes.
Thank you.
Do that without breaking anything. That's good. You went through yesterday the other work you did on the case. I want to briefly just just touch on it. You went down to Boston Medical and you collected a bullet or a frag.
I did.
And any other evidence, again, that you did some photography down there, I guess, right?
Did some photography the first time I went to Boston Medical, which would have been the day after the shooting, and then the bullet, I have it in my report. I think it was on the 16th, but it was a week or two after.
Right.
Yes.
You were tipped off to go down and retrieve it.
Right.
And then the only other thing of any substance, I guess, on this case would have been sitting in on Kyle's interview.
There was the documentation of the, I'm sorry, was your question, did I sit on the?
Yeah.
I did sit on the interview for the CIC forensic interview.
Yeah. Can you explain what that interview is? I don't want you to talk about what went on in there. We're going to get that.
Understood. Yeah. Forensic interview, when someone goes through something traumatic, oftentimes we try not to have either law enforcement interview. We have trained forensic interviewers. So I would be in a different room. Video would be audio, video recorded. Either police interrogation or anything like that, and more victim-led discussion about what happened so that law enforcement can review. There is a time where I can, the interviewer might step out and I might ask, hey, can you talk about further questions? But that's really what the interviewer would bring up after. And then I get a copy of that video to be able to review it. The goal is to make sure that we're not constantly having law enforcement go interview someone that went through something traumatic, my partner go interview the same person, then DCYF or medical or anything, trying to re-traumatize someone saying that they went through something traumatic multiple times.
Right. And you want to do it in an environment that is, it's not a police station.
Yeah, it's not at the police department. This one would have been at, I think, Haven, over at the community center in Rochester.
Right, it's not even in a police facility.
Correct.
Right. And you do that so that the individual, whomever that may be, is relaxed and so that they can be candid.
That would be the goal as well.
That is the goal. Right?
Yes, the goal is to make sure that they're not constantly being interviewed multiple times too.
Right, and that they give you accurate information.
Yes.
If I could just have a second. Thank you.
Well, it's 11 o'clock, so give it 5 minutes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will, Your Honor, may we approach?
Yeah.
Everybody in the jury scheduling in terms of a break. Is everybody in the jury box okay without a break at this point? We're thinking maybe another a few more minutes, okay? All right, thank you.
Detective Danny, I do have a couple of follow-up questions for you, just based
What's
on that.
wrong with the mics today?
I don't know.
I think it makes sense, Your Honor, if the witness may step out of the box and we can set the TV up. It just makes sense to start there.
We're going back to videos we can't see. They're testing my patience.
Testifying. I just want to clarify clarification on this matter. Did you testifying? I did not. Okay. Pat, in the past during your investigation, had you viewed that video? I did. Thank you. For a moment. Detective Danny, I'm actually going to the mouse.
controls what's on the computer screen. Court permission. Yes. So you mentioned the VLC player, both just now with me and while you were speaking with defense counsel. Can you just tell us briefly what that is in broad terms?
Sure. I am by no means a software expert. It's a different type of video platform that has other options to be able to. So I don't have a frame-by-frame in Windows, so I'm constantly pausing. You saw how many times you had to pause. VLC player offers that frame-by-frame option. So that's generally used as a desired use for customers.
So as you're viewing these videos during your investigation, did you view them in a frame-by-frame
I did.
setting? Are you able to demonstrate for the jury what that looked like as you were viewing it? Actually, Detective Danny, I'm going to move you over here with the court's permission, of course, just so we can maybe get this up with less distraction. And as you're kind of setting this up, are you able to tell the jury, are you doing anything to change the nature of the video itself?
Do you want me to get this up first before? So I just need the file here. So I'm going to the USB, the file, and right-clicking, going to open with. Instead of Windows Media Player, I'm going to VLC Media Player to open that.
Is this a photo editing software?
This is, to my knowledge, no, not a photo editing, it's just a viewing. I'm not sure if it has those features. I don't know how to use those.
So as you were viewing the video in the way that the jury is about to see during your investigation, were you altering the, I'm going to say, integrity of the video?
No.
Detective, are you able to demonstrate for us how this play-by-play feature looks as you're viewing it in the system?
Sure. Can you all see? Yes. So the bottom screen over here. Can you all see my mouse? Yeah. This feature right here is frame by frame. So when I click it, I want you to just pay attention to each shot is different. You'll see that it's snowing. You see the car moving, but you can see that I'm clicking it sometimes, and that the second button up here is not moving all the way. So that's showing that there's multiple frames in 1 second. So if I click it really fast, you'll see that now we're at 5.
Threatening with a dot job.
Now we're at 6. So that was a way that instead of just pushing pause, pushing play, pushing pause, and missing something, I wanted to at least see frame by frame, because I think we can agree that what everyone does matters in this case.
So, Detective, I'm going to ask you to do that again for a different portion of this video. Would you be able to move the timestamp, essentially the time bar on this video, so that it is at approximately 1 minute and 15 seconds?
Is it 1 minute and 15?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Is that what we were?
Believe so, yes. Okay. Could we then go through that kind of frame by frame feature that you were talking about?
Did you want the frame by frame or the zoom too?
The frame by frame, please.
Okay. So I'm down here at frame by frame.
I think I told you the wrong time. Let me double check that. I apologize. You have more experience on this than I do.
The bullets say like 22 something.
Jamie, can I ask a Yank question?
What?
Pie, does he mean pizza?
Yeah.
But it's not a pie. A pie
mean,
is made in a pie dish, and it's a
pizza
dough.
pie. Pizza pie.
It's a pizza. Pizza. It's not a pizza pie, because
Pizza
a
pie.
pizza is a pizza. The Italians made it a pizza. They didn't say Hey, it's a me, Mario. Try my pizza pie.
They should have.
It's no, because they are not wrong. You Yanks are wrong.
Exactly, Marissa. He doesn't get it.
It's smaller, you uppity wannabe Greenland resident. You can buy it from me for $4 billion a year. Deep pan kind of skirts the line between pie and a pizza. No, because a pie has a top on it. It's a filling encrusted in a dough. So a calzone is probably the closest you could get to a pie.
No.
It's Italian, like Dominic the Italian Christmas donkey. E-R, E-R. Yeah, sung by a drunk. Not that you should make any inference from that and Brandon going to a bar at 11 to eat. I like cheese. I love that everyone says, you don't eat anything. And it was Jamie who was, oh, kebab meat. I never had that in my life. It's too
No.
spicy.
It was delicious. It was certainly spicy too.
Hey, as long as the food is good, I don't care about the accounting. Chicago pizza, I might be convinced, is a pie. A pizza is not. Pies have more filling and a top. Yeah. Lemon pie doesn't have a top crust. Well, then lemon pie isn't a pie.
We fast forward it to where it is 22:16 at 42 seconds. Is that about where we're at?
When
Okay.
the sun hits
Can we go
you,
frame by, before we go frame by frame, can you tell us what we're looking at in this video?
it's a more.
This is at 16:40, so 10:16, 40 seconds in, and this is the point where Mr. Levesque looks like he has his firearm pointed towards the direction of the tile.
Okay. Can you go frame by frame for us?
So at this point, the firearm comes out. We can start to see Mr. Violette almost in a turn.
And at that point, I just want to pause you here. Are you able to tell, you'd mentioned just before this that Mr. Violette appears to have turned and seen the gun. Can you tell what direction his body is moving after he has, I'm going to use your words there, has seen the gun, has turned and seen that?
It looks as if, say the houses are behind us and I'm facing, looks as if he's turning towards the right to turn away.
To turn back in the direction of his house?
Yes.
Please continue with the frame by frame.
When you swim in the
Pause.
sea.
At this point, are you able to tell which direction Mr. Violette was heading when the first shot was fired?
At this point, with this video, no.
Okay. Has the first shot been fired at this point in the video?
It is currently
tell
being
us-
fired, yes.
Can you tell us kind of how you can tell?
We can see that explosion from the barrel of the gun.
Please continue. At this point, are you able to see where Mr. Violette is?
I'm not.
Are you able to on a different video?
I am.
We'll go there in a moment. But for now, please continue. And if you wouldn't mind just kind of telling us, I know you talked a lot with Attorney Sisti about your process of going through and marking it.
No, because the sandwich isn't finished in as a finished dish. And then you're going to say, but a panini. No, because a panini is heated after. So that's just a hot sandwich. You can't fool me. I have, as we call it in Denmark, from earth to table education.
Oh my goodness.
Each time what you see. If you wouldn't mind doing something similar just verbally for us today.
Okay. So if I was to be writing this, I'd say 1642, 1643. I see Jason with his hands down, side facing towards Kyle's direction. One step forward, starts to raise his hand, pointed towards Kyle's direction, but now I see that it's pointed towards the ground more.
Is a hot dog a sandwich? I would say no, because it's not. The bread isn't separated. Jamie, have you? We're going to talk about hot dogs tomorrow, because that was a whole new system of delivering meat to you that you didn't expect.
It was delicious.
Yeah. A quiche is a fancy word for a pie.
2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps. It's out of frame, partially out of frame. Starting to walk back towards the truck, turns around to look, appears to be looking down, turns back towards the truck and starts walking back towards his truck.
I think we can pause this frame by frame here, and I'm going to see if we can open one of the other videos, the porch view, if you would mind.
So porch view, I'm right-clicking again, and instead I'm opening with the LCD media player.
And as it's in the process of being projected on the screen, if you wouldn't mind just narrating to the jury, what is this process again that you're going through? Is this the same that you just went through in the first? And again, are you altering the integrity of the video as it exists?
I'm not.
Would you mind fast forwarding to 22/16/36? By frame that we've discussed.
Yes, it is.
Would you mind going through that process and kind of conducting a similar narration of what is visible as you're going frame by frame?
There's some hiccups in it. I think it's because we're behind, and I'm skipping ahead sometimes.
So I believe I see Kyle walking towards the direction of his house. He's turning, facing towards the direction of Mr. Levesque, walking towards Mr. Levesque. Out of frame, I still see a shadow. Looks like he's taking a step forward. I see both shoes if they're pointed towards the outside, as if he's turning.
I just want to clarify what you mean by that. Both shoes as if it's pointed towards the outside.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So if he's facing and turning this way, and both of his shoes, I start to see they're not pointed towards the direction of the truck. They're starting to point towards the opposite side of the road, leading me to believe he's turning around.
Thank you. I appreciate your demonstration.
At this point, I'm starting to see Mr. Violette fall down to.
I will next week, when we're not covering Karen Reed, I will buy a McDonald's cheeseburger and just put that on camera, and then we can see that slowly deteriorating.
Ground. And I'm starting to see both his hands right here. And I'm starting to see him in the position while he's crawling. He starts to begin to get on all fours and start crawling and facing towards his house. And at this point, I'm starting to see some introduction of, I guess, almost smoke or a disturbance, which kind of leads me to believe that these are the next series of shots that are there.
Would that also be consistent with where those shell casings were found
It
and where
would.
the blood was located on scene when you arrived?
It would.
Why would you buy that? You don't go. That's one thing I don't get. Maybe it's because I'm not American. You're going to McDonald's and say, "Let me have the salad." That's like going to a lady of the night and says, "Can I have the girlfriend experience?"
Ew.
That's just wrong, Jamie.
I know we just watched the previous video where you see more of what the defendant is doing in this moment, but based on the timestamps and what you've seen in both videos, are you able
Yeah,
to
chicken nuggets.
tell at what point the defendant begins advancing towards Mr. Violette?
I'm sorry, can you ask that?
They just had one with a béarnaise. I don't know how to say it in English. Béarnaise. That
Béarnaise,
fancy
not
yellow French sauce.
That Bernie sauce.
That béarnaise sauce they use over there in Frankland. They had one here, and then with a little bit of sprinkle of, like a potato sticks sprinkled in there just to give it some crunch. That was a good one.
Yes, so are you able to tell based on looking at the video we just watched and this one, as well as what both parties are doing during those videos, where Mr. Violette is located when the defendant begins advancing towards him after that first shot, where his body is placed?
The last cheeseburger made in Iceland before McDonald's closed still looks dry but edible.
Where Kyle Violette's body is placed when Mr. Levesque advances towards him. He's on the ground, looks like he's either on all fours or trying to crawl facing towards his house.
Thank you. Please.
With his back up. This is ultimately where he was, I believe, located in the more concentration area of blood was found.
Your Honor, 1 moment. Detective Danny, I have one more video that I'd like us to take a look at. You would mind closing out of this one?
Counsel, I'm sorry, I thought you were going to support all the videos you're showing me now. These are all contained on State's Exhibit.
2. Yes, I apologize, Your Honor. I should have clarified that. These are all on State's Exhibit 2. They will all be made available for the jury.
Just wanted to confirm what we're looking at.
Yes.
To be written. Multiple files on State's Exhibit 2. Thank you.
So, Detective Danny, is there any other way that you were able to view these videos besides that frame by frame in this media player?
Yes.
What else did you use in order to enhance your viewing of these videos?
There's a feature called interactive zoom, which you can get a highlight box and kind of drag and drop to an area that will zoom into that area to see. Go further.
And I think I asked this on the other videos as well, but I'm going to ask it again. Does this alter the integrity of the video as you're looking at it?
No.
Are you able to demonstrate for us what that looks like on this video?
Go to tools, effects, filters, video effects, geometry, interactive zoom, hit save. Now I have a box that I can highlight an area that I might want to watch.
And I just want to be clear for, it looks like there are two little screens.
Yes, correct.
Can you tell us what this one in the corner is?
The corner screen is the actual view of what it contains a white box that you can drag and drop to an area. So for instance, if I wanted that top left corner, I would drag and drop, and now this bottom part is that zoomed in area of that white box.
Thank you so much for clarifying that.
We're actually getting pinch and zoom
Wouldn't
right now.
mind on this video fast forwarding it to approximately 22 minutes into the video.
Is that 1022?
We haven't heard
22,
anything
22, or is
about that.
22?
No
On the-
questions
22.
either.
Or you just
On the
want-
bottom, yes.
on the bottom?
Approximately.
I think they have to, because he's going to be rolled in his wheelchair to testify, so they
21
have to not.
Are you able to then
get too
move
mean to
that
him.
box so that the focus is exactly that? And can you just narrate for us what is in kind of focus of this zoom?
Yep, this is the driveway of 41 Summer Street, and it's the front of
Yep.
Mr. Levesque's truck, plow truck, and showing some of his driveway.
I'm just going to skip it because we can't see shit anyway. And it's just technical stuff. Anyway. We're going on break now. I could get a hot dog in 5 minutes.
Detective, can you tell us what the value is for you during your investigation and viewing the videos the way that we just showed the jury?
This is such it doesn't appear that he's denying that there's a shots happened, right? And he was the one that shot. So really this comes down to, when I'm trying to be on like a fact-finding mission, what happened in those videos, if you watch just 10...
Yes, Your Honor.
Clarifying question.
Yes, Your Honor. Detective, let's back up a little bit.
Sure.
Just going step by step and frame by frame with those videos, is it easier for you to get a clear picture of what happened?
It is.
Is that in part because when you just watch them straight through?
Yes.
So when you go frame by frame and when you zoom in, Does it allow you to get a more accurate picture? Does it allow you, in cases like that driveway video we just saw while zoomed in, does it allow you to
He's standing on the
essentially
floor
cut out the
watching the
extraneous
screen.
part of the video and focus on what you're needing to be focused on during your investigation?
It does.
No.
Never had beef that
One moment,
price.
Detective, I have further questions for you. Defense may have to.
Thank you.
Briefly, Detective, that was a helpful presentation. Thank you. When you view the videos in real time, real time, not breakdown time and not frame by frame time, it does go by fast, just like the prosecutor said.
Yes, sir.
In fact,
Just like real life.
and
Yeah.
it took only 5 seconds from the time Kyle made his last turnaround and approach to Jason until all of the gunshot was over.
If that's what the bullets say, then yes.
5 seconds. Correct?
Correct.
And as we watched these various videos and various angles, you'd agree with me, there was only one person who appeared to be confronting the other person, right?
I guess it depends on what you're qualifying the confrontation. I would say anyone pointing a gun is a confrontation.
Oh, no,
too.
let's go before.
Before that?
Yeah.
Yes, I'd agree with you.
Yes. And that person would have been
Kyle Violette.
Kyle, confronting Jason, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
He would have kept his butt
Thank you.
inside.
So now that there's time for the morning break. So it's going to take 10 minutes and we'll be back.
10 minutes, and then we're going to be back at 11:31, and then he's going to go to lunch.
I know, they're gonna go to lunch soon. Like, why start at 10 then if you're gonna take 55 million breaks in lunch pretty much right away?
I don't know. This courtroom is
You might as well come back after, just to have people come after lunch and
Yeah.
start the case.
yeah. He does look like old Luke Skywalker. If you've seen Fedorowski, he keeps mentioning blue milk. It's because he looks like Luke Skywalker. That was a stupid answer from the detective. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jamie, can you talk about what hot dog you had? Because now we have some time to fill.
It was a bacon wrapped hot dog.
No, it wasn't a hot dog. It was what kind of hot dog?
It was a sausage.
No, what kind of hot dog was it? It had a
don't know.
specific name.
I don't know. Did you tell me this and I don't remember?
I pointed to the little placard and said, then you want a French hot dog with a wrapped sausage.
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, that's what I want.
I was just basing my decision off the picture.
Yeah, and then you asked for one more and you said, what should I say to him? Just say French hot dog.
I want a French hot dog, please. It was so good. It was like a wrapped with bacon, and then they stuff it in a like
Baguette.
roll
Baguette.
thing, and then they put this like white sauce in there.
Yeah, that's
And then
called
you just-
French hot dog dressing.
Yeah. And then you just like carry it around like a little, you eat it like, like it's a hand meal.
Yeah, it's actually why they started selling them, because when you're eating a normal hot dog, you spill all the goodie on it.
Yeah.
But if you have a French hot dog, it's a contained system.
It was delicious. And then I had to get another one.
Bacon wrapped hot dogs are great.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not a pig in a blanket. It's a French hot dog. Where's crispy bacon? She's right here. That hand gesture, nope. Well, I thought about it right when I saw it on screen that that could be clipped.
Yeah, it was delicious. We didn't really eat a lot of food when we were there, surprisingly.
It kind of looks like this.
We walked more than anything.
You have a baguette or a flute or a piece of bread or whatever you call it where you're from, that's a little more crunchy than a normal hot dog bun. And then there's, why do I point it like this? That's stupid. Then there's a hole where you stuff the sausage in, and then you put the dressing on it before you stuff in the sausage. So it's a little contained meal.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, he puts it in a little like bun thing and you hold the bun and it's just got a little bit of the hot dogs peeking out. And
No
he fills the
Dijon
bun with
mustard.
like all the like the sauce.
Why would you put mustard in your French hot dog? You put French hot dog dressing in your French hot dog. That's why it's French hot dog dressing.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It was just white and it was tasty.
It's most likely pink because it's where they kind of mix some Thousand Island with something else. Yeah, we did get liquid food. It's half a baguette with a hole in it.
I felt like I couldn't get enough water when I was there. Oh my God. The first night that I was there, we walked a lot and then I woke up with like the craziest leg cramps because I swear I hadn't drank anything.
That's because you got mad at Iris for giving you a sparkling water.
Oh, that sparkling water was the worst. I was so thirsty and then hands me that and can you imagine? It's not refreshing at all.
I see the inherent problem here. That hot dog needs to go a rabbi. Is it at least beef? Otherwise, you'll suffer 1,000 more years of bad hot dogs. No, it's a wonderful pork product. Denmark is a pork-based society. So, well, you could get them. You could get a veggie option, and you could get a. I think you could get it with a beef sausage as well, but you don't go to the sausage wagon to have beef. You go there to have pork.
Pork's
Hey,
good.
sword girl. But it was a nice little sausage wagon.
Yeah, that guy was nice too.
Yeah. They have puka dogs in Hawaii. Those are good. Oh, and I forgot to give you the chocolate milk.
I know. We just had sausages. And then I was so excited by the sausage that we had to get another one. Well, I did. And then we walked off. I don't know what we went and did.
Farrell, can you clip that?
What?
I was so excited by the sausage.
You're so stupid.
High-end brothel case over on another hearing sounds fun. Yeah, but it's just a hearing, and it seems like it's a lot of politicians, so I don't think that's a lot that's going to come out. It's kind of like that list everyone's waiting for, and then they get it, and it's all redacted, and all the, hey, look, I got a piece of paper with nothing on it. I'm so happy. Beef sausage is dry. It is. The worst sausage is venison, not venison, veal. They are dry as heck because there's no fat in it. I love very charred hot dogs, any kind. Denmark cheese is so good. What's up with the dairy cows? Are they eating Danish cookies or something? Well, we have multiple types of cheese. Actually, where I live, we have a smoked cheese. That's it's a specialty, and everyone loves it. I never met anyone who ate it, but they make it, and it's a thing. But that's a smoked cheese, and it's one of those things people only buy when they're at, well, if you're 80 years old or above.
You didn't have any cheese. You should have made me get some cheese when we were at the grocery store.
Worse than veggie sausage. Well, veggie sausage is filled with fat, so at least they taste like something. That's the thing when everyone is saying, "Oh, I went vegetarian. That's so good for you," and then you buy all that fake meat, and that's just fat. It's really, really not good for you. But it tastes okay. My sister uses it to make hamburgers, and it's actually quite good. And then she looked at what's in it, and it's just fat. Friday of St. Patty's weekend, corned beef and cabbage all weekend. I live in the most Irish town in America. And you say my diet sounds weird. Corned beef and cabbage. Yeah. Ever had a Korean hot dog similar to a corn dog, but batter is different and most people dip it in sugar?
Yeah, those look delicious. I've never tried one yet though.
No. I don't like sweet and savory at the same time.
Well, they're not all that way. Some of them are just like potato, like it's kind of like a potato outside. I don't know. There's a bunch of different ones.
Dipped in sugar, Jamie. That makes them sweet.
Yeah, some of them are. Not all of
I don't like that.
them. You don't even know.
But I know I don't like sweet and savory at the same time.
I don't know
wonder
if
what-
I'd be. No.
Wonder what new chatters think when court goes on break and this place immediately devolves into weird food talk. Well, we have to talk about something. And there's no one's weird hairdo we can talk about or bold fashion choices. So let's talk about food. Jamie, what was your favorite part of your trip? Coming home.
No, just meeting everybody. I think Saturday was fun when everybody came out and we just got to walk around. We got to see the little royal horses and go pet them. Oh, that was so fun.
Yeah, and do you remember how old that house was? It was so old, Jamie.
Hmm.
From 1818. So old.
And then what did we say is that video cameras? And then no, it was mirrors is what they used to creep on people. I'm
Oh,
like, what a
yeah.
great idea.
A lot of old houses have like mirrors placed outside of your living room window. Probably had a good excuse, but no, it's just so you can spy what's happening in the street. And they saw that, and Jamie said, "I want that so I can spy on my neighbor. She yells in the street."
I said it's a good idea. Like, what is that? And I'm like, it's mirrors, so you can look, you can spy on
It's
your
just so
neighbors.
you know if anything goes on outside. I don't know why they have them, but where I live, there's a lot of old houses, and especially in the inner city, you can see a lot of those mirrors up there. What about honeyed ham? Oh, I liked honeyed ham. That's good. But there's also mustard in that glaze you put on it, at least in Denmark. Boiled bacon, ugh. Cabbage and turnips with Coleman's English mustard. I don't think I ever eaten a turnip in my life. Well, sugar turnips, but because that's how we make sugar instead of sugar canes. I think a lot of Irish are doing fish fries today and saving the St. Paddy's Day food for next week. It's either then or I can relay my experience trying gummies for the first time this week. Pick your poison. We'll stick with the food.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. I just love that. Oh, it's so old. And you're going around thinking, it's like built yesterday. I think our oldest house in my town is from 16 something. Hey, Celestial.
All rise, jury entering.
Defendant is always on time.
Oh yeah.
I like a good strong Dijon mustard. Especially on my cheese.
Please be seated.
Nothing better than mustard on cheese, Jamie.
I like hot, spicy mustard on cheese.
Some further instructions. As is the case sometime. Sure.
So, is he about to send them out on break now?
I will
It's St.
kick his
Patrick's
butt.
Day today. No, it's on Sunday, right?
Monday.
Monday. I thought St. Patrick's Day was always on a Sunday. I don't know. I'm not Catholic.
The 17th. Yeah, it's the 17th.
Your church is 900 years old. I think our town is mentioned for the first time in 12 something, when it was given as a wedding gift to, I think she was a princess or something. Branston pickle on cheese or tomato chutney. I don't like chutney. It's the 17th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Brandon, the only decision you will have to make
So-
is how green you be able to go.
We're going to withdraw what I was just about to say to you, and the state is about to call their next witness.
So the state was about to end it and send them back on lunch.
And that witness is
State calls John Freese.
John Freese.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Just get to the victim.
Just get the victim.
Good morning, sir. Will you raise your right hand? Do you swear any testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury? You may be seated. Just please keep your voice up so everyone can hear you. Counsel, you may inquire.
Thanks, sir. Can you state your name and spell your name for the court record, please?
Sure, John Freese. The last name is Freese.
And what do you do for work?
I'm an emergency physician
Where?
at Frisbee Memorial Hospital primarily, but also hospitals in New Hampshire and Virginia.
Understood. Can you give the jury just a brief summation of your professional training and experience?
I've been an emergency physician for 25 years. I
Okay.
trained
Here's a doctor.
at Indianapolis, the Indiana University Emergency
Could
Medicine
be
program back in
relevant.
2000. When I graduated from there, I did my postdoctoral fellowship in EMS, or Emergency Medical Services, at the New York City Fire Department. Spent 10 years as a medical director with the fire department, was chief medical director, and oversaw all the ambulances in New York City for that decade, during which time I also worked clinically. And then for the last 12 years, I've been primarily here in New Hampshire and now also Virginia.
Thank you. I think that suffices. Look, do you remember, with the benefit perhaps of reviewing some records, treating a patient named Kyle Violette?
Yes,
And my understanding, if I could just briefly summarize, you saw him, but he then was transferred to 2 other hospitals.
that's correct.
You know, given the nature of his injuries, can you just give us a thumbnail, an estimate of how many physicians do you think treated him over the course of his 3 admissions to various hospitals?
It was dozens.
And so I'll cut to the chase. You know, by agreement with Attorney Sisti, we've asked you to kind of come in and summarize the treatment evaluations from each 3 of the hospitals, so that we don't bring in dozens of physicians. Is that how you understood your testimony today?
It is.
And have you had the benefit then of reviewing treatment notes, summaries and image notes from the other hospitals?
Yes, I have.
And based on your training and experience, notwithstanding the fact that you didn't actually do the treatment down in Boston, do you feel comfortable sharing with the jury a summary and an explanation of the treatment and injuries?
I do.
Great. Then let's get started.
And just so the record's clear, this is without objection, correct?
No, this is actually an agreement we made like a week ago. So
Very good. Just
It's going.
wanted the record clear. Thank you. Continue.
To understand, it could take days to talk to 13, 14 different...
Of course, the court understands. I just wanted the record clear. Just wanted the record clear.
Dr. Freese, do you recall when Mr. Violette was admitted?
It was April 4th of 2022.
And I'm going to refer you to my reference note of page 427. Actually, this may be faster if I approach, Your Honor.
Of course, please.
Can you share with the jury, and you said he was admitted to what facility?
This should be, had it been in a Danish court, it had been a one-day trial. Because there's really nothing to it. We have wasted 2 days watching videos that no one could see what was.
Initially to Frisbee, and I misspoke. I said 2022. It was 2024.
Well, they had 3 different witnesses coming in and showing the same videos over and over again. You know?
Yeah.
So who cares? One time.
He was admitted to Frisbee at
Counsel, I'm referring to page 427 of the notes. I'll direct your attention to the 4th paragraph.
10:30 p.m.
And then can you indicate when he was discharged?
Yeah, at 11:13.
So about 45 minutes he's at Frisbee, correct?
That's correct.
And if you could summarize the evaluation, the injury notes, the triaging notes from his arrival at Frisbee. How did he appear to you?
So when he arrived, he was anxious, he was pale, he was confused, as most people are when their blood pressure is critically low, as his was. His initial evaluation demonstrated a number of gunshot wounds, and his initial treatment for stabilization, given his very low blood pressure and the severity of his wounds, was to secure his airway. So he was paralyzed, sedated, and intubated or placed on a ventilator. He had a cordis introducer placed, which is a very large IV catheter that was placed into his femoral artery to allow for the rapid administration of blood products. And he had a chest tube placed, a large tube that goes into the chest cavity to allow his left lung to re-expand.
Very well. I'm going to direct your attention to what is our discovery note of 446, should be on the bottom right-hand page of your notes.
Okay.
There appears to be an admission summary. Can you indicate the number of gunshot wounds that Frisbee was able to identify?
It appeared to be a total of 6 gunshot wounds.
And can you briefly describe them to the jury?
Sure, there were 2 to the left chest. One was just below the clavicle. One was over the left lateral chest wall. One was to the lower abdomen, which was just inside of the hip bone, the front of your hip here. The next was to the left hemiscrotum, so just adjacent to the penis and somewhat involving the penis and the scrotum. And then there was one to each buttock.
You would describe that the pelvic, the abdominal wound was anterior. That's actually on the front side.
Correct.
Okay. And behind that was a gunshot wound to his left buttock. Is that correct?
Correct.
This goes on to indicate the sort of the level of concern. What was the determination of his condition?
He was critically ill.
And would you consider critically ill to be?
Jamie, do you think that the wife did the same thing that men does when women have given birth and they say, "Can you just give her 2 extra stitches?" That's
No.
And she said, "While you're down there, doctor, give him a few extra inches." Jamie, why would you say that?
Life threat.
Imminently.
And so you had made some additional notes.
The only thing you can go back and see, there's 2 seconds where you can clearly see the video and the rest is wasted time.
That I don't understand. There is, the patient was notably, and can you share that word? Tachycardic?
The patient was notably tachycardic or had an elevated heart rate and markedly hypotensive, meaning his blood pressure was incredibly low, with an initial systolic blood pressure in the 50s.
And then what did you do in response to that, if anything?
So, as mentioned, he had the cordis introducer placed, which was the large bore IV. He had 2 units of blood that were initially ordered. The intubation, placing him on the ventilator, like I mentioned, and then immediately after the intubation and placing him on a ventilator, the tube thoracostomy, or the chest tube, was placed in his left chest.
I noticed that the notation uses the term a massive transfusion protocol. What is that?
Most hospitals have a transfusion protocol that requires the administration of multiple blood products in the case of a critically ill patient who appears to have significant bleeding. So it includes the administration of not only red blood cells, but also products to help to replace the factors that allow you to form a blood clot, so that you have all aspects of your blood being replaced.
There's a notation on 427 that indicates at 2240 PRCP Unit 1 and then Unit 2 both transfused within 10 minutes. Is that notable to you?
Yes, it's a rapid infusion, as we would expect for a critically ill trauma patient.
And so after making these assessments, what do you actually do at Frisbee Memorial?
So like most smaller hospitals or critical access hospitals, the role of a smaller hospital is to stabilize the patient so that they're able to survive transfer to a tertiary facility or a higher level of care, or in this case, 2 higher levels of care. So our goal was to maintain his blood pressure, maintain his airway, improve his breathing, get in touch with a trauma surgeon at a local hospital, in this case Portsmouth, and move him there as rapidly as possible.
No, his neighbor could potentially put some snow in his driveway, so he went over to say, "Don't do it," and then he got the eunuch treatment.
And did they agree to receive this patient, Mr. Violette, at the Portsmouth Hospital?
They did. Dr. Cromer accepted the patient.
In fact, was this situation so acute that you essentially held off on doing other diagnostics that you would have normally done?
Yes, and that's standard for someone who's this critically injured.
And so you've indicated to us that at 23:13, he actually left for Portsmouth.
Correct.
And I want to then turn your attention to the documents that appear to be generated from Portsmouth, which begin at 468 of our discovery.
Okay.
What I first see is what appears to be a summary of a CT scan report.
Yes.
And can you please explain the observations or the diagnostics that are referred on 469, the following page concerning stomach and bowel?
With regard to the stomach and bowel, there were a few punctate metallic foreign bodies within the lumen of the stomach, which were felt to represent bullet fragments that had been swallowed by the patient. There were no evidence of any bowel injury on the CT scan itself.
And so at this point, they hadn't yet diagnosed perforation of his bowel that was eventually they performed surgery on.
Correct.
Can you return then to give us a summary of the findings for his lungs?
For his lungs, there was the chest tube that we had placed at Frisbee that terminated near the lung apex or at the top of the lung. There was fluid within the chest tube itself, which was the blood that was coming from that tube. And there was a small left-sided hemopneumothorax, which is a combination of blood and air that remained in the chest even after re-expansion of the lung with that chest tube.
There's a heading called osseous and soft tissue chest. Can you summarize those findings?
The radiologist noted that there were several small metallic fragments in the left pectoralis muscle or the left chest muscle here, that there was a larger metallic fragment that was just in front of or anterior to the first rib, and then subcutaneous air or air beneath the skin that would be expected after someone had both gunshot wounds to the chest and a chest tube placed.
Look, in that area that we're talking about, can you share with us whether there are either critical nerve, veins, arteries, other organs that you would be concerned about for major trauma in that particular area?
Yes, everything that keeps you alive sits right there. Your heart is just to the left of your sternum, primarily. The aorta, which is the artery that carries all of your blood to all of your body, leaves the heart and curves to the left and descends, as well as going up through your carotid arteries. The lung, obviously, and in this case, the artery that surrounds each one of your ribs, which by itself can also be a life-threatening injury.
This report has a heading called reproductive. Can you just briefly share with us the observations and diagnosis?
Yeah, they note that there's some subcutaneous air, so again, air beneath the skin within the left hemiscrotum or the left half of the scrotum. They were able to describe this as an entry wound that was adjacent to the left base of the penis, and then some small metallic foreign bodies beneath the skin that were noted, as well as several smaller metallic foreign bodies within the scrotum itself. And they were not able to visualize in this study the patient's left testicle.
Understood.
Making you squeamish?
Yeah, he lost his left nut, and there's metallic pieces are left over in there.
Yeah.
Ew. I'm not a fan, Jim.
There is a notation at, looks like 469, concerning the, again, this is soft tissue, tissue structures. Quote, there appears to be a potential exit wound at the skin surface of the anterior left lower quadrant of the abdomen.
Yes.
Just want to show you, if I may approach, Your Honor.
Of course.
So these are the photos.
Your Honor, these are full exhibits, and I have no objection.
Very good. The record will so reflect these are full exhibits.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as States 19, and just ask if you can explain kind of what you see.
So this is, by definition, a critically ill patient, as evidenced by the fact that they're on a ventilator.
I don't think he was aiming for the nutsack. That's not a big target.
The patient appears to be, his left chest tube still in place from what I can see from the lines. He has an oral gastric tube in place, which is a tube that drains the stomach of the gastric contents, of the stomach contents that you produce every day, even if you don't eat, and multiple monitors.
I had originally asked you about the observation or the statement describing an exit wound in the abdomen. I'm going to show you stage 21 and ask if that is consistent with the evaluation that was read.
It would appear to match.
And does it make sense that that would correlate with what I'm going to show you in States 23, which, if you could just describe that to the jury.
So this is a wound that appears to be on the high portion of the left buttock, relatively large in size and with no surrounding skin changes.
And if that were the entry wound, that makes sense to you?
It certainly could be.
And so the image that we see in 21, all located kind of on the front of its body, was actually inflicted from behind it.
Yes, it appears so.
Do you recall evaluating initially the gunshot wound to his face?
Yes, I do.
And I'm going to show you stage 20 and ask if you can identify that and describe it to the jury what you see.
Yes, this appeared to be a gunshot wound or penetrating wounds to the jaw or the mandible that was just beneath the jawbone of the mandible here on the side of the neck.
And do you recall the consequences of the result of that particular gunshot?
It appeared that he had significant intraoral injuries as well, and I recall from the note being able to even palpate bullet fragments in the area of the jaw.
And, once again, how in this area of the body, can you just tell us whether or not there are critical nerve, blood, and other potential organs?
Further than most general, yes.
Yeah, this is very close to your carotid artery, the main artery that sits here that feeds essentially one half of your brain. An injury to that, like most major arteries, is one you can bleed to death from within 2 to 5 minutes. And if the bullet continued further than that, you have the spinal cord and the brainstem, which allow you to live.
At Brisbane, you can confirm that you deferred some analysis, and that includes CT scan. So is it true that you did not see the dissected portion of the carotid?
That's correct.
There's a brief summary on 492, if I could refer you before he is then passed on to Boston Medical Center. And at the bottom there, it seems to be a paragraph. Can you confirm that at Portsmouth they continued to, were required to provide massive transfusion, continued there?
Yes, it did.
And that the injuries were consistent with what was observed at Portsmouth, but here they, at Frisbee, but they add here that they now have observed an external carotid injury, complicated mandibular fracture, pulmonary hemorrhaging, and again, make note of the significance of the external carotid injury. Can you just briefly describe for the jury what they're talking about?
Yeah, so what they found on the CT scans that were performed there was that the carotid artery, which comes up your neck and then splits into the internal carotid artery that goes to your brain and the external carotid artery that goes to your face. The external carotid artery had a sudden occlusion near its origin from the common carotid artery, so it appeared that the bullet had transected that artery.
What do you mean by transected?
Or cut in half or caused the blood flow in that artery to stop.
And can you confirm, to your knowledge, that at Portsmouth they did some surgical intervention?
Yes, they did.
That they repaired a temporary repair of his bowel, that is taking out a section of his intestine and lower bowel.
Why don't they just?
They did. They identified that injury, the scrotal injury that required removal of his left testicle, and because of, as we mentioned previously, the continued air and fluid that still remained within his chest, a second chest tube was placed at that time.
And then do you recall?
Yeah, you missed. He lost his left testy, and he has metal shots in his scrotum.
Why it was that they transferred him out of even Portsmouth?
The injury to the carotid artery was felt to be such that it could potentially progress and needed specialized care not available at Portsmouth. Portsmouth is a level 2 trauma center. It needed a level 1 trauma center with specialized vascular surgeons.
And did that turn out to be a Boston Medical Center at the Yawkey facility?
Yes, it did.
And do you recall that he was, in fact, medevac, he was flown down to Boston to receive the treatment given the discovery of the vascular injury?
Yes, it was.
I would like then to just, if I could briefly turn your attention to the Yawkey admission, to the Boston admission, is at page 44, which is grossly out of order in there. I think it's at the end.
Yes, I know.
He's
And just down to the bottom of it, can you just review this paragraph and summarize what it is that Boston observes?
Sure. So they observed that this gentleman had been transferred now from 2 hospitals. They summarized his injuries from his CT scans, including his fractured mandible, fractured jaw, nasal fractures, the transection or the cutting in half of his external carotid artery on the right, an injury to his left chest that included, as I mentioned, the left hemopneumothorax, or the blood and air that was outside of his lung within his chest. The first rib fracture, what's documented here is a right RP hematoma, or a right retroperitoneal hematoma, meaning a blood collection behind the abdomen. A right iliac wing fracture, so that the wing of the hip bone here that was fractured, a pelvic hematoma in that same area, the left scrotal injury, and then a fracture of his left femur. And then they summarized the previous procedures that had been done.
Very well. On page 54, there's a paragraph down to the bottom that likewise, I think recites the level, the degree of injury or concern here.
Yes, they summarize all of his injuries, but they comment to begin that the patient is critically ill with hypovolemic shock, acute respiratory failure, the hemothorax, the pneumothorax, acute blood loss anemia, and that has resulted in impairment of vital organ function with a high probability of imminent life-threatening deterioration.
Do I feel they're going a little too deep with all the medical things like the paramedic video and so on? No, blood sells, blood works on a jury, so I understand why they're doing it. They want a conviction.
And I probably should have.
Well, don't they have to determine,
Can you define
like,
hemothorax
the
as
attempted, you know what I mean? Because he's charged with attempted.
Yeah,
So they have to prove that,
yeah, he was about to die.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hemothorax for the jury.
Sure, hemothorax is a collection of blood outside of the lung or between the lung and the chest wall, and the pneumothorax is the same, but in that case, air.
And on page 55, there appears to be a summary from a different physician who concurs that these injuries require involvement of highly complex decision-making to assess, manipulate, and support system failure.
Yes.
Does that fairly summarize Mr. Violette's condition when he reached and was evaluated in Boston
I don't think he's overcharged. He put six bullets into him. The guy was in the hospital for a month. I think that's attempted unaliving.
4/5/22?
Yes, that would be consistent with what we saw at Frisbee and what the documentation throughout says.
And, without getting into the litany of surgical interventions, significant medical intervention was required in order to save Mr. Violette's life.
Yes, it was.
So those are my questions.
Thank you. Attorney Sistine, cross-examination?
No question.
No questions. Doctor, you're excused. Thank you for your time.
Well, they can't really argue the medical facts. So good
Yeah,
not to go up there and say, but was it really threatening? Was it?
Yeah.
Could we?
Thank you.
Is it a little threatening?
No, they'll probably go to lunch. And then...
I believe yes.
This is a good time for us to take our lunch break. So we'll be back here in an hour at 1 o'clock or so. All right? Very good. Thank you all.
1 o'clock, Jim.
1 o'clock.
No, it's only
Enjoy your
attempted.
lunch.
No, the guy's still alive, Lolita.
Yeah, but in New Hampshire, attempted red rum have the same price as a successful one. So if you're going to do it, don't do it half-assed. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, we don't condone stuff like that on this channel.
No, not at all.
Except if it's a PDF. What, Jamie? That's not what we're saying.
I could be okay with that.
Yeah.
We know.
But
If you know, you know.
this was a waste of time again. I don't know why we get these. Mornings are bad in this case.
Yeah,
They have,
because they
like,
don't start till 10, and then they waste so much time. And then it's lunch.
Yeah, but yesterday we had the wife. That was pretty good. Then we had the video we couldn't see. Today we just had the video we couldn't see. And then we had the doctor that was okay. There's so much wasted time. But the good thing is, when we come back after lunch, it'll be even better because it can't get worse. So it's
hope
gonna
so.
be great. You should be here. Jamie should be here. Marissa will probably be on her boat saying, "I'm not mudding." Jamie, by the way, have you told people what we're doing Sunday?
Baker's having another panel show
With
with Andrea Burkhart.
we were lucky enough to get Andrea Burkhardt on this Sunday. Jamie won't be joining us because it'll be
No.
at 8 p.m. Eastern. Jamie has been sleeping for 2 hours at that time. She'll snuggle up in her personalized sleeping bag that she bought in Denmark because she loved it so much. And she'll be in there and say, "Oh, it's 6 p.m. Mama's gonna sleep. Come on, doggos." And then she'll
Mama needs a
fade
rest.
away.
Yeah.
Oh, Baker,
It's
you
gonna be
pour,
fun.
so I can always get worse. I'm not sure I'm understanding all that. Thank you, T-Rex.
Yeah, 8 p.m. on a Sunday. It's because Andrea is Pacific time zone. So
Yes, I tried to do it the normal time, but if I wanted to have Andrea on, I have to accommodate that she is living on the West Coast, and to have her on, I am very accommodating. It's gonna be 1 a.m. my time, so when Jamie is saying so late, remember mine is a little bit later.
his time zones are no joke, guys. Like, I have a little bit of sympathy now.
Yeah, you can
'Cause
kind of
when-
understand why sometimes we're not doing Colorado time. Why not? It's an interesting case because it'll be 1 a.m. before I go to bed.
Well,
That's
it's
fine.
funny because everybody back on the Eastern time zone that I talked to, like we would be out doing stuff and we'd be halfway done with our day, and then they would just be waking up. Because I'd like text my sister and I'm like, "Wait, what time is it? Oh my God, it's like 6 a.m. and we're already like halfway done with our day."
Yeah, well, this case starts at 3 o'clock every day, so.
Yeah.
And these 3 weeks are the best 3 weeks because you're only 5 hours ahead of me now, so I get to jump off screen at 9 o'clock in the night.
Finally.
Thank you, T-Rex. It's supposed to say, "Oh, Baker, you poor soul, it can always get worse." It can always get worse.
That is true.
Yes. So, and Valhalla, when I told him 8, he said AM, PM. I said PM. He said, "Oh, I like that."
That's his favorite time of night.
He doesn't do early mornings. 24 2, 3. What? Deborah, we always miss you, but I'm not sure what. Did you have a vacation? I don't know. The only problem will be Valhalla will
Looks like
have
she was
to.
in the hospital.
Oh, she was in the
last night.
hospital.
That's what that
Well,
little.
that's bad. Hope you're feeling better. Everyone's going to the hospital right
Yeah.
now. The only thing, Valhalla will have to space out his yinglings a little bit that day, so he's not sitting there sleeping like you. Well, I hope you're feeling better. Great job, I got her on. Look, Marissa's has become the booker, and now everyone is just, oh, Fatso is just sitting there taking all the glory, but Marissa is the real workhorse. Well, Marissa is great. She has helped me tremendously. I have a great mod team, led, of course, by Mod of the Year 2025, Brandon, who is sticking pins into his telephone because that's what great mods do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, Brandon, I hope everything will go as well with you again. Any suggestions on how to pop yours that won't pop? I am on day 5 of this stupid pneumonia, and I'm way better, but the ears, man.
I know.
I just do the thing. That's all I know how to do.
Yeah, me too.
I will flight you. Well, I'm sorry,
What?
Helen. She said flight me.
I know. I just saw that.
Helen, I don't know if you did the math, but it'll be 1 a.m. Your time Sunday, so might be a rerun show.
Yeah.
Andrea has nice piranhas on her wall. She does.
So it'll be you, Valhalla,
And Andrea.
That's all you need.
That's all I need. Having Valhalla on, you know.
She is a great talker. You talk a lot, and Valhalla talks a lot. It'll be
I
perfect.
hardly ever say anything, Jamie. Stop.
Please.
It's Valhalla who's just constantly yakety, 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 yakety.
Oh, yeah, he's the yacker.
Yeah, to pop the ears, put some onions in your socks.
Oh, the dang onions already.
Well, I only have you on for your good looks. Jamie was there for a prolonged weekend.
Yeah,
But
Friday
talking about
to
weekends,
Monday.
it's Friday, it's 5 o'clock. I need to make some food and be back here in 40 minutes-ish.
Better hurry up.
When the wife leaves tonight, I'm going to make some hot dogs using every pot, pan, and dish we own.
You should.
Yeah, and then he
she'll
will
beat you with
clean
them.
everything so he doesn't get in the doghouse when she comes back.
You better. I would be so mad.
I lost 9 pounds. Oh, maybe I should go to the hospital. You are Valhalla. Yeah, I have to go and poke a baguette. Jamie.
Oh my lord.
Get out of here. Go get yourself some lunch, and then we'll be back in a bit.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100. Because it is 100% correct.
Checking your
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All
right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't have cared?
No,
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
no,
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
probably did. Everybody has.
So that-
Everybody has.